I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. Just breathe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number 179, and my name is Henry.
And I'm Paul.
This week we have a double header for you. We have both Space Jams coming up for you. We have we're going to be doing the new one first, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and then we're going to be doing a retro review of the original Space Jam from 1996. So that'll be great. And then I figured we could talk about some of our, top sports films and that genre. Maybe other stuff we watched. Who knows what else will come along. So thanks again for joining us. Paul, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a pretty quiet week. I got to see a friend of the show, Nick Delgadillo, and he and I talked about Space Jam and Space Jam: A New Legacy because he's seen New Legacy as well. And it was a good time. Beyond that, it's been honestly a pretty quiet time on my end. How about you?
Yep, been okay. It's been kind of I guess you can call a lesser week for me, but happens to everybody. But other than that, not too much. I mean, I posted about it on my Instagram, but I did finally received my tickets for the Hella Mega Tour concert in early August, which is Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and the Interrupters, which are pretty much four of my favorite bands. So that'll be a great time. Got my train ticket and hotel for DC, and so that'll be something to look forward to. Other than that, not a whole lot else to say, I guess.
What's the number one song that you want to hear?
Oh, I mean, Green Day has always been my, my top favorite by far. I don't know if they just played their first tour or first concert a couple of days ago since the pandemic, and they had their set list on there, and there weren't a lot of new ones from the more recent albums. So I'm hoping they're going to change that a little bit. But I'm just going to be excited to see all four of those groups because Green Day is the only one I've seen live of those four. So that'll be a good time. So,
are you worried that it's going to get canceled?
Not. It seems to be going. They seem to be optimistic. I'll say that. If it does, I don't know what I'll do.
Cry. Yeah.
But so I'm sure, really hoping it's not. Hopefully, maybe I can get in there just before they start canceling them, because it was supposed to happen, I guess, last year around the same time, I guess. So it's been a long wait. But I'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. All right. No, go ahead.
For listeners, yeah, by the way, Henry is currently wearing a Green Day shirt.
Yes, one of about 25.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. I've been buying them since middle school, so
Oh wow! Okay.
And this is like the size I was in middle school, so I've never had to replace them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, Paul, anything else you want to mention before we get started?
Nah, I've eaten up too much of our listeners' time. We can get started.
Okay. All right. Let's get into some reviews. Let's get to our review of Space Jam: A New Legacy, and we do have a clip, so take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Oh, we rapping now? We rapping? Show 'em who you really are, notorious P.I.G. Oh boy, here goes nothing. What up? It's Porky Pig. They call me P-Double-L-G. Step to me, he don't want no trouble. I was famous before the internet. Since 1935, I've been getting respect. This pig is lit, I'm super legit. Every time I'm out in public, people asking me for pics. Nobody knows you when you walk the street. How your last name, rhythm, and you're still off beat. From beginning to the end, I'm here for all the smoke. Your squad ain't all star, your squad is all jokes. And this with one bar, most famous of all quotes. This battle is now over, that's all, folks.
All right. When I stuttered there, I sounded like a Porky Pig or a...
I was about to say, I think that constitutes as a Porky Pig impression.
Yeah, it's fitting. So, okay, Space Jam: A New Legacy is now in theaters, and it's on HBO Max, and it's directed by Malcolm D. Lee. It stars LeBron James, Cedric Joe, Don Cheadle, Chris Davis, Sonequa Martin Green, Sayar J. Wright. Who am I forgetting here? Anybody?
Zendaya, several of the voice actors from previous Looney Tunes releases. But, that's kind of the general expectation. But that's everyone.
The synopsis is a rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of famed basketball player LeBron James, who then has to work with Bugs Bunny to win a basketball game. Yeah, so of course this is a sequel, kind of. It's not really much of a sequel, but because it's just like the same movie over again. Yeah, it's I guess it's been doing fairly well financially, not so well critically. Was there a lot of hype for this one going in or no for people? Do you know? Was there much buzz?
I think that there were some people who were interested, I feel like there was definitely a contingent of people who were probably excited for the movie. I was hesitantly excited. I was hoping for the best. Mm. So far, also in user reviews, it's not doing great. I think it's sitting at like a 4 on IMDb.
Oh yeah. The Letterboxd reviews are pretty brutal as well.
Oh, I should jump into those. I haven't read any yet.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Yeah, I had negative interest in seeing it. Not that I'm upset that I watched it. Because I had seen the original Space Jam once when I was a kid and really had no real attachment to it. But so going in, I was fairly blank. And LeBron James. I mean, we'll talk about it with the other one. Michael Jordan is great, obviously. LeBron James, I don't watch a ton of basketball, but what I've seen of him, I do like, and he seems to be a good personality. And so I think his placement in this fits. Overall, I don't seem to hate it as much as a lot of people do. I wouldn't necessarily give it a pass either, but it's just kind of, I saw it a week ago and I remember like almost nothing about it. I've almost forgotten about it at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
So, I thought it was, when I watched it, I thought it was entertaining. There were a couple moments that I enjoyed, but there are still a lot of issues with it that I'll get to later. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, I had a certain amount of hesitant excitement. I thought that if they landed this could be a lot of fun. I thought that the first one was fun. I had seen it a few times since childhood, but it wasn't one that I really went back and rewatched, a lot. So going into this one, especially after I heard all the negative reviews, I was like, well, maybe it'll at least hit a point of so bad that it's at least enjoyable in that regard. Mm. And kind of like you said, it doesn't even really hit that. It's just kind of not very good. Mm. And that's just kind of it right to the bone, is like, it's just a not very good movie. Are there parts of it that are fine? Sure. Are there parts of it that even are good? Yeah. But by and large, it's not very good. And I don't necessarily know who it's for, because it's not for children. A lot of people I've seen online have been making the argument of oh, it's for kids. Like, calm down about it. At an hour and 55 minutes, you're really pushing that definition of for children.
Brutally long.
So I don't know who it's really for at the end of the day, because I wouldn't say that it's for fans of the first one, because it's not really a sequel, and it has elements of the first one. I wouldn't say that it's for new fans, though, either. Because if it's for children, do you mind if I jump into some problems that I have with it?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay.
Roll.
So if it's for children, why on earth is almost every reference that they use an adult property?
You don't think the kids would get the Mad Max Fury Road?
I don't think that they're getting Mad Max.
Clockwork Orange?
I don't think that they're getting Casablanca. I don't think that they're getting... And, maybe they're getting Casablanca if some of them have maybe seen the old Casablanca Looney Tunes bit. But we're getting into like a rabbit hole now at this point to discuss whether or not the children get the joke. Rick and Morty show up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. And Paul, we should counter blessings because you, I can't speak, the Film Buds listeners know what Casablanca is because you suggested we review it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're safe. Everyone listening is safe,
That's true. So no, I think that it's just a weird movie. And what are some of your thoughts? What are some of your negatives with the film? Or positives,
Well, I mean, like positives, I wouldn't say. Maybe towards the end, I started to get a little bored. It was so frantic that I at least like kept some interest in it, and it was so weird that I guess I kind of continued to watch it with some enjoyment. But I mean, LeBron James, I don't think anyone expects him to be a great actor. He's not really in this, but that's okay. I think he's familiar. He's charming enough. He does the job. I think Michael Jordan is better for a multitude of reasons. But one thing I didn't like, I generally enjoy Don Cheadle. Maybe it's the writing. I didn't really enjoy his villain. It's just too...
No.
It's like it's at 11 all the time. He gets to be so mean and and spiteful. It just gets really tiresome. So he was probably my least favorite part. And then also there's this really sudden twist where the kid is like a major dick. Like he completely hates his dad suddenly, and it's just all that stuff didn't really work. Now, I mean, some people, all the references to other Warner Brothers properties, like I could see how that could be barf inducing, and maybe at times it was, but I enjoyed the Mad Max references and the Mad Max Fury Road sequence. Casablanca, that was, I mean, at least different. I wasn't expecting that in this. Some of the Harry Potter ones and all that was, it was goofy enough to where I enjoyed it. And I'm a big Looney Tunes fan, so I guess I'm kind of naturally inclined to like the characters. But really, as you were saying, way too long. Like, yeah. I like it in both films how long the game goes. I like how the game is a big part of it. But in this film, there's so much beforehand that you have to get through. Whereas the original is under 90 minutes, I had one more thing I was going to mention. Oh, in terms of it being for kids, like the original, I can see that it's simple enough. It's kind of, it's charming, it's entertaining, and like a kid could easily get latched onto that. But also one thing that I think the original does better in terms of being a good role model or message for kids is that in that game, it's basically just Michael Jordan's Looney Tune group versus a group of big people, and that's it. Whereas in this, both teams start using these ridiculous like cheat codes and alternative moves that are completely within or, only doable in a video game. And so like a kid, watching this who may be an underdog or who may feel he may not be able to, step up to the plate, so to speak. This film isn't really a good, inspiring representation of that. Whereas the original to a certain extent kind of is. And so I feel like kids watching this, I don't know what they would really get from it, because you're just saying like, here, use these cheat codes to win, if you're in a pickle. But so yeah, overall, I think the message of the movie is a bit of a failure.
No, yeah, I think that's fair. As far as positives go, I think that for me, the best sequence of them visiting a property is probably when they go to the DC world, the DC like animated universe, where Daffy Duck is trying to be a superhero.
Yeah.
And so he staged a train robbery that goes wrong. That for me was probably the best sequence. And I think that one was the best because instead of trying to, just transplant them into a property that already exists, they created a world that property exists in, like Toon World. And therefore, they could really play around with that reality and the tropes of it and that kind of thing. Whereas with everything else, it was just an implantation into already existing footage. It wasn't like Sylvester or, Roadrunner, like living in a Mad Max world where it was LeBron dressed in a Mad Max outfit as like real life LeBron surrounded by a whole bunch of people, and then there are also these cartoon characters who are also in a Mad Max outfit, a little bit more Roger Rabbit-y kind of. And that was the other thing, I think that this movie lacks some of the technical spectacle of that one, because instead of having it be live action LeBron interacting with these tunes, it's an animated LeBron interacting with the tunes. But then the tunes are still tunes everywhere that they go. So, and I sorry to pick apart the logic of it. I know that it is a kid's movie to a point, but it lacks some of the spectacle that the first one had and some of the technical wizardry that the first one had. I agree on Algae Rhythm. There we go. Algae Rhythm being pretty awful bad guy. First of all, his name is terrible. Second of all, and it's not Don Cheadle's fault. Second of all, what does he want? He sits down and he's like, I want to have LeBron make these movies that I've created in an algorithm where, I use a computerized version of his likeness to make movies with LeBron in them now. Yeah. Which is an interesting thing for HBO of all people to have their villain want to do. But then LeBron says no. So then he's like, haha, I'm going to take you captive and I'm going to use you to get out there for my ultimate plan. And like, we have no idea what that means. We have no idea if it's even world domination. Like, it's very unclear what he actually wants.
Yeah. And
so the stakes for the movie are very low. And therefore, it also gets a little bit boring and a little bit hard to care. Whereas with the Looney Tunes, in the original Space Jam, they were in danger of, being taken by these aliens back to a theme park to work for evil Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan was just caught up in it. Whereas this movie makes the mistake of trying to have it be like some sort of message movie thing for LeBron, which also isn't a message that's for kids, that dad learns a lesson that kids need to be, who they are. Which brings us to another issue that the movie has, which is that I don't find LeBron all that charming. And that's because, he is a bad dad just sort of for no particular reason, but also the kid still has access to all of the stuff. He's still been able to make the game, and it's this, ultra hyper rich lifestyle that I think, makes it a little bit disingenuous and a little bit distant from landing as a good message for any average sort of viewer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. And also one thing about just the storytelling. So this guy directed Scary Movie 5 and Barbershop: The Next Cut and Night School, I think, as well.
His best movie is Undercover Brother.
Okay. Yeah. not a lot of gems there.
Would you like to know a little about the production of this movie?
Sure.
Okay. So it was originally supposed to, there were a lot of scrap Space Jam sequels. We can get into that in the discussion after the first Space Jam, I guess. There were a lot of Space Jam sequels. This one finally gets greenlit. You know, LeBron's involved. Justin Lin was originally supposed to direct. He ends up leaving to go and do F9.
Smart.
And the 10th Fast and Furious film. And so then they bring in a guy, I think his name was Terrence Nance. And he starts directing the movie. And they get a good way into production. And he apparently has been butting heads with the producers and the studio. And he ends up quitting. So then they bring in Malcolm Lee. And they finish out the movie. And it's during that time that they go in and excise Pepe Le Pew from the movie. And then they also go in and change the voice of Lola, because they had actually done apparently most of the voice track, or, you know, a certain amount of the voice track with the original Lola Bunny from the first Space Jam. And then they decided to, after the new director came in, get rid of her and bring in Zendaya.
Wow.
And so that's how we ended up with Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Well, Malcolm, you did great. And so on that point with the storytelling, there is so little plot in this, and yet it feels so complicated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so many characters, you know, constantly cutting back to all these different people, and it just is so unnecessary. And by the end, you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, who's with who? What's, you know, this person's motivation, et cetera, et cetera. And really, you just want to watch some like fun, goofy basketball with these characters, but it's like the CG is out of control. It's so in your face, so glossy. And I mean, in like the worst way, it speaks to like how studios such as Warner Brothers are making movies now, where it feels like it came out of a computer. Like it's so polished, it's so glossy, and this movie is a kind of a perfect representation of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, you know, even with all of that said, like, it still was entertaining to a certain extent. I didn't hate it. There were parts of it I liked. And so, you know, I'm definitely not going to trash it like a lot of people do, because I was at least somewhat into it as I was watching it.
No, there were parts that, you know, I did enjoy that did get a laugh for me. I did like some of the design stuff and things like that. Ultimately, I did find the movie, I think, pretty disappointing, you know, and I didn't, I guess, expect the world from it, but I expected more from it than this. You know, I just think that there's enough wrong with it that it definitely is not something that I will actively revisit by choice again.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
And yeah, I think that you're right. I think that it's a glossy product. You know, this is definitely like content with a capital C.
Yeah. Were there any Warner Brothers properties that you were upset they didn't include? Like, I guess aside from the DC one, not a lot of Christopher Nolan love. No Dunkirk references, no Tenet, no Inception that I could see.
You know, I'm not upset or, you know, are missing anything. You know, I'm fine with everything that they used. I'm not sure if there's anything that I would add. If anything, I'm more just bothered by how cheaply the usage felt. You know, Ready Player One has just as many characters, but they do a better job of just sort of having them, even though they're not necessarily always integrated into the plot. I think they do a better job of having them be there and be in scenes and be in the moment. Whereas this, it oftentimes just sort of feels like a cheap knockoff of that character just sort of being present.
Yeah, totally. And also one thing with the concept of the movie, it feels like the studio said, here, let's not do a sequel to Ready Player One just yet. Let's get away with it and do essentially the same thing, but in a Space Jam sequel. Because there's, King Kong and all these people who you see used in a similar way in Ready Player One, but it's just regurgitated like 3 times over in this. And so I guess Ready Player One came out 3 years ago or something like that. So it just feels like they said, let's wait on that. Let's bank on this and just, dress it up in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no Great Gatsby reference either, Paul.
Great Gatsby.
That's the biggest one.
Uh-huh. Was there anything that you were looking forward to or reference-wise that you would have liked to have seen?
Not really. I was happy they did a Mad Max one. That was pretty cool. So I was content with that. And to be honest, when the camera was like roaming all around, I couldn't see who was where.
Yeah.
So I missed 90% of them. I
was fucking floored by the use of Austin Powers.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Of all the things that they pulled out, I could not believe that they pulled out Austin Powers.
Yeah. Well, anything else about Space Jam: A New Legacy? And we'll get to the first one in a bit.
I thought Bugs' voice was all over the place.
I didn't notice, but
I don't know. For me, I've heard better Bugs.
That's fair enough. All right. Out of 5?
1.5.
I'll go 2.5. I'll go 2.5.
Very generous.
I think I on Letterboxd, anybody who follows me there, I think I gave it a 3 right when I finished. But since then, I've
cooled
down and go to 2.5. So leave it there. It's cemented in stone now.
Forevermore.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to the original Space Jam from 1996, and we also have a clip for this one. So take a listen.
When the world's greatest athlete, Michael Jordan, teams up with the world's best-loved cartoon character, Bugs Bunny, you won't believe your eyes.
Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your your John Hancock?
What's going on here?
We need your help! You heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the Mean Team. Ready? Yeah! Doc.
Yeah.
You kick it in here. You go to the hole and dominate. We on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Alrighty, so the original Space Jam is directed by Joe Pytka, I think is how you say it, and it stars Michael Jordan, of course, Wayne Knight, Teresa Randall, Penny Bay Bridges, Brandon Hammond, Larry Bird, Bill Murray, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson. Anybody I'm forgetting, really?
No.
Yeah. And the synopsis is, in a desperate attempt to win a basketball match and earn their freedom, the Looney Tunes seek the aid of retired basketball champion Michael Jordan. So this one definitely has had a bit of a cult classic status over the years. I know a lot of people who maybe they watched it when they were kids and they say they still love it. I tend to think not, but it's definitely had a bit of a shelf life over the years. Paul, when was the last time that you had seen this one up until this?
College, maybe. Maybe sometime after, but it had been years, plural, for sure. I don't know.
What'd you think of it?
I still enjoyed it. I was a kid who grew up with it, and I enjoyed it the last time that I watched it before this most recent time. And so, yeah, putting it back on, yeah, I still liked it.
Yeah, I think overall I enjoy it. It's definitely better than the new one. And for one thing, as we're talking about with that one, is it actually looks like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not constantly in your face. It's got a little bit of a roughness to it, and of course the 90s style just kind of helps make it feel more genuine.
Yeah.
And it's in contrast to that as well, it feels so simple. Like you could see a kid enjoying this.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's something that I really enjoyed, having watched this one just earlier today, or rewatched it rather. That I'm like, wow, I can tell what's going on.
Yeah. It's nice. It's straightforward. So Ivan Reitman was a producer on this movie. And he's, one of the directors of Ghostbusters, or he's the director of the first Ghostbusters and several other Bill Murray comedies. And I think that they were smart in how they had, Michael Jordan just be Michael Jordan and made it a Looney Tunes movie with Michael Jordan. And I think that is the standalone strength of the movie. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo that has the Harlem Globetrotters. It doesn't suddenly become about the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
It's about the Looney Tunes and the Harlem Globetrotters. It's about the Looney Tunes with, Michael Jordan. And I think that that's what really makes this movie work. And it has the right amount of kind of, tune humor, Looney Tunes humor, which is physical humor, but, turned up to 11.
Yeah. And
I think that's definitely on display in this. There are some visual effects that haven't held up as well. No. Wayne Knight inflating was truly horrendous to look at.
Yeah.
But, honestly, like, it's just a nice, earnest little movie,
Yeah. Also with the relatability of it, which is something that you were talking about, where in A New Legacy, he's still, I guess in the movie, he's still playing basketball. He hasn't retired yet. I don't think, right? He's still in the middle of his career, LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in this, he's retired from basketball and he's trying to play baseball. He's not the best at it. Mm-hmm. But it's still a little bit more of a, like, he's trying to, to do more and trying to be great. Whereas in A New Legacy, it's like he's at the top of his career, but he's still just not the best dad. And so it doesn't feel as sympathetic in that way. And so I think that's why this one succeeds more in that way. And the movie surrounding the basketball game is still enjoyable. Like, I'm not just waiting for the basketball game to happen. Like, I still, like, there's a little bit of character there, some humor. Bill Murray is great, of course. I really enjoyed the baseball scene where the catcher is telling him what pitches are coming,
Yeah.
And you could really see, like, relate to that of, like, a celebrity going somewhere or trying something new and people loving them so much that they're just going to do whatever they can to get on their good side or make them look good. And of course that, drives Michael Jordan crazy. But so I enjoy it, that whole aspect. And oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I had nothing else.
No, I really enjoy, I enjoy Wayne Knight driving Michael Jordan nuts. Wayne Knight gets one of my favorite jokes in, which is when he's digging that massive hole in the golf course, and the guys come up. What are you doing? Fixing a divot.
Yeah.
What's he doing? He's fixing a divot.
Yeah. And also the visual of him at night in the hole. It's like a meteor has just crashed. That's great.
And I think that the villains are fine. The villains were fine. The basketball player villains were fine in the last one, or, in Space Jam New Legacy. But the Monstars are, just a nice, clean, iconic cartoon look, and I enjoy their little nerd luck form as well. I enjoy the design of Danny DeVito's, cigar smoking bad guy. it was originally supposed to be a human Danny DeVito. And they ended up changing it to a cartoon. And I think that ended up making it work better. And that's actually something that I think could have made New Legacy better, would have been changing Don Cheadle to a cartoon all the time.
Yeah, totally.
So I think that if, I had any complaint about the movie, I definitely would have liked to have maybe trimmed down a little bit on the athlete cameos, extensiveness. I'd have rather spent that time with like the Looney Tunes or the Monstars after they get their newfound powers and are trying them out for the first time. I'd have definitely preferred something a little bit more like that than letting Charles Barkley act for, like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I do like it when he's at the kids' basketball game and the kids are like, "Be gone," and he's just walking away in shame. That was a great moment. But I do like the whole aspect of these, superstars losing their ability. I like that whole thing. I like it when the three tall guys are walking in the hospital and they all hit their head and fall backwards. And so yeah, it's really overall in comparison, it's just so much more charming and genuine. Yeah, and it has more heart in it to me. Let's see, what else is there? Any other big moments for you or anything else about it?
No, I think that even though the movie is simpler in so many ways, I think that that's what ultimately makes it a much more effective experience, is because Looney Tunes weren't big plot heavy cartoons.
Yeah.
The rabbit season, duck season gag, works in a very, particular bubble. It doesn't need a lot of plot around it. And so I think that that's what works great about the first Space Jam movie, is like it's not too plotty. It's very straightforward. What's
your favorite Looney Tunes character?
Can I include like Yakko, Wacko, and Dot in that?
Sure.
Then Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Okay. I'm not sure if he counts as a Looney Tune. I know that he's, in the Warner Brothers pantheon and interacted with Looney Tunes cartoons, but Freakazoid.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that cartoon as a kid? You should give that one a look. I think you'd even like it as an adult. It was produced by Steven Spielberg.
Okay, I will. At least I don't think I have, but yeah, I'll check it out. I think for me, Bugs Bunny, but I remember as a kid, what I enjoyed watching the most was Roadrunner.
Okay.
I think I enjoyed the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner dynamic and adventure a little bit more than I did the actual Bugs Bunny cartoons. But I think in like the context of like this kind of film, Bugs Bunny is my favorite.
Yeah. Bugs is definitely a favorite of mine. I really liked Daffy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all those cartoons, growing up as a kid. Like I definitely remember sitting around watching like Kids WB and stuff like that and watching Looney Tunes. And here's a question for you that just popped into my head. Are you familiar with Mandela effect?
Yeah.
The sort of, pop science phenomena.
Yeah.
There's one for Looney Tunes.
Okay.
It's whether or not it's TUNES or TOONS.
And are you curious as to which one I would say? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Which one, when you were a kid, do you remember it being?
Shoot. I'm going to have to cut all this silence out. Well, you go first. I'm trying to remember.
Well, I'm one of the people who would have sworn that it was TOONS because they were cartoons. But the reality is that it's TUNES.
I think I was the U.
Okay.
I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. A purist.
But, so what would, getting back on track, what do you have any final thoughts on Space Jam?
Not too much. It's not one that I'm, would be a favorite of mine or, really had a big impact on me, but it's, I can see how it would have for someone else. And I can see the merit in it. It's just not one that, watching it this far removed, it didn't really hit me all that hard.
Yeah.
So, but it's enjoyable. It's entertaining. Does the job.
No, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about Space Jam?
No, I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think it's a good one, to show kids. I'd rather you show them this than the new one.
Oh yeah.
And one of the sequels that we didn't get, sadly, was Spy Jam starring Jackie Chan.
That is a shame.
Yeah.
Out of 5 stars, Paul?
I'll go 4. I'll go 4.
Light 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, with those done, we can move along here. So I guess we can discuss the sports genre. We have some favorites here prepared before the show. Paul, are you much of a sports movie person? Are there many that you thought of, or do you watch them often?
I don't watch them often. Not really. I've seen a fair few of them. I think they're oftentimes fine.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's a high bar to cross to make a great sports film for me, and most do not.
That's fair enough. I guess I kind of have phases. I kind of go in and out of my interest in sports movies. I always enjoy them, and there's a lot of ones I love. But I wouldn't say it's a fairly consistent thing that I do that I watch. But I'm always curious about them, one way or the other.
I think for me, it's just I'm not overly much of a sports person, and for the actual real life event.
Sure.
So it's hard to then go and create a dramatized version of that I care about.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, now I have about 10-ish here. So,
damn it, Henry.
I had forgotten about a lot of them that I decided to, and they're not necessarily, they may not all be 5 out of 5s, but they're ones that I would mention in a best of list for myself.
Okay.
Paul, how do you want to, and they're not,
I'm just going to,
oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I would have you just probably shoot your 10 and then I'll do mine. And then we'll just sort of have a little discussion.
Okay. All right.
I do not have 10.
It's a shame. All right. So shooting 10 here. So not a whole lot of rank or whatever that word is. So starting here, God, I cannot talk today. I'm going to have to move some things around when I edit. So, all right. So Talladega Nights.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. Dodgeball. Those are kind of maybe basic choices, but bear with me. The Fighter, the David O. Russell, Christian Bale, Mark Wahlberg film. Moneyball is one of the best, I think. Blades of Glory, which I just rewatched last night, another Will Ferrell film. Rush, one of Ron Howard's, I think, few very good movies. Field of Dreams is one of the best. Major League, which I talked about a few weeks ago. Foxcatcher. Rocky, obviously. And then Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore is actually one of my all-time favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a few more, but those would be the ones I would think of. What about you?
So, first off, I have a question. Does Molly's Game count?
Is what is that, poker in there? In that?
She starts with skiing, of course, and then she ends up getting into poker. Yeah.
How much skiing is in the movie?
Enough for me to remember it.
I mean, if there's skiing in there, I wouldn't say poker is a sport, but if I wouldn't fight you for it. So you go, go for it.
No, I'll keep it out to avoid controversy.
Okay. We'll bring that one back when we do some, like blackjack, poker movies.
Are there?
movies.
We'll have to look into gambling movies. So here's mine. Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah, good one.
Moneyball.
Yeah.
Rush.
Oh, nice.
Extremely goofy movie.
Okay.
Rocky.
Yeah.
A League of Their Own.
That's a good one.
Sandlot.
Yeah.
You said them, so I added them to my list. Talladega Nights and Dodgeball.
Nice.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
And Creed.
Oh yeah, Creed. That would be pretty close, but Rocky's on there. It's close enough.
So yeah, that's what I thought of.
That's a good list.
It took me a second to come up with ones that I really liked. The first one that came to mind was Meatball, because I found it, it's an Aaron Sorkin script and his dialogue is just so tight.
Yeah.
So I like Rush. I think that's an underrated movie. I don't know why I feel like not many people have seen it, but not a lot of people have seen it.
Not a lot of faith there.
No, and I get it. But I definitely think that it's one that's worth a view. It's probably his best movie.
Who, Sorkin?
No, Rush is probably Ron Howard's best movie.
I mean, Paul, I'm sure you're excluding In the Heart of the Sea, but we'll
of course, yeah. No, I liked your choices of Talladega Nights and Dodgeball, because I really had completely blanked out on both of those. Those are great choices.
Yeah.
Do you like Balls of Fury?
It's been I remember liking it at the time, but it's been so long that I wouldn't be able to say yes or no.
I'm horrified to go back to it.
As am I.
Do we want to do that at some point?
We'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to. I'm very weary.
I feel highly suspect.
It could be brutal, but we'll keep that one on the list. And also one thing with Moneyball is it's one of those sports movies that, I mean, at least from the people that I've talked to about it, it's one that you don't have to like baseball to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty accessible, compelling idea and concept that I think anyone could get into, even if they're not a big sports fan, probably. So that's a real winner there.
No, for sure. I looked at my list and I think it's pretty safe to say that what I prefer is sort of oddball sports interpreted on film, or not things like football movies or a lot of basketball movies. I've got bobsled and cartoon X Games and NASCAR, dodgeball.
Now, is Point Break a sports film?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Glad we settled that. Yeah, there a few others, like 42 is a good one with Chadwick Boseman.
42 is a great one. I thought about putting 42 on my list. I'm trying to think. What's another one that's... I know Warrior is one that a lot of people like. Right. Yeah. With Tom Hardy. Yeah. And Joel Edgerton and Nick Nolte. Yeah. Yeah. What about Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal? Haven't seen it. It's okay. Oh, what about I, Tonya? Oh, that's a great one. Yeah. Yeah. Son of a bitch. I can't. Yeah. But no, I mean, that's those are some good picks. So, I guess recently there haven't been a ton of great ones. I guess because there's, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with it. It is just a sport, and so you kind of have to find new ways of reinventing it, which is tough. Yeah, the sports movie has the same problem that the musical biopic has, which is, there's depicting real life, or the biopic in general, really. There's depicting real life, and then there's trying to find a moment in that person's life and figure out like what the theme of that particular part of it is, or what the theme of their overarching life is. And I think that that's where you oftentimes get some of the best results of sports movies, as opposed to when you just sort of tell what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And going back to one thing that I said with Moneyball, what is your favorite Sorkin work?
Steve Jobs.
Good choice. Yeah.
What about you?
Social Network.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about sports movies at all?
No.
Yeah. We covered it.
Yeah.
So, and if anyone has questions or comments, or you want to tell us yours, the filmbudspodcast@gmail.com is where you can send us some, say hello, or when we post on social media about this episode, you can just comment with some of your favorite sports films. So we'd love to hear from you if you have any. Or you could just tell us in person if you happen to know us. Whatever works. So, all right. You want to move on to picks of the week, Paul?
Sure.
Unless there's anything else?
No. I honestly haven't watched terribly much. I recently rewatched Black Panther. That was, still tremendous. It's the first time I've watched Black Panther since Chadwick Boseman passed, so that was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
It was definitely weird a little bit, kind of like rewatching Dark Knight for the first time, after, or, watching it knowing, that he was gone. So it was one of those sort of experiences a little bit, but it was still a great movie. It's still a fantastic movie. It still shows how good a Marvel movie can be when they really put their all into it. Made Black Widow seem all the paler in comparison.
Yeah, definitely.
Beyond that, not a lot.
Oh, well, one thing, Paul, actually, the other day I was going to log a movie and I saw you had watched it as well, or maybe you just reviewed it. A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched that the other day.
I saw that you had rewatched it and reviewed it. I decided to go ahead and like shake up my favorites, because I really don't have like a set metric of favorites at any given time. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to go through and purge what I had and change it. And I also didn't want to put something that I didn't have a review for.
You mean the top, your favorite 4 films on the profile? Oh yeah. I change those like every day. So you're okay.
So yeah, I really enjoy that movie. I think it's great. That's one of my favorite Sorkin pieces. I think, he started out in theater, and A Few Good Men was a play first. And I think that it translates well. I think Rob Reiner does a really good job with it. It's a great Tom Cruise performance. I really wish that he would go and do more stuff like this again. I love his action stuff, but I would really like to see Tom Cruise do something interesting like A Few Good Men again.
Yeah, me too.
And it's, Jack Nicholson, it's one of his best. I mean, he owns that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't seen it in years, and I thought it was completely held up, and it was awesome. So, all right, any others for you?
No, but I was going to show you real quickly. Boom. Freakazoid season 1 on DVD.
I think I saw a little bit of that. I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about it, but I know that image is very familiar.
Yeah,
but I'll have to check out more of it, because that sounds good. All right, so I have a handful of things here, so just bear with me. So I've been watching some Yankee games on TV. That's been fun. They haven't been doing great, but that's okay. A Few Good Men is awesome. Rewatched RoboCop, which is awesome. Hadn't seen that in a long time.
The first one?
The first one.
Not the remake.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't rewatch that. But no, I love the first RoboCop. Paul, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rewatched another Tom Cruise early film, The Firm, based on the John Grisham novel. And overall, I had never seen that before. Overall, I enjoyed it. I really enjoy lawyer courtroom kind of dramas. One thing though, it is offensively long. It's over 2.5 hours, and like it just feels so extended needlessly, and you're begging for the end. But anyway,
I thought it was okay. You're begging for the end,
yeah,
but I thought it was okay.
I gave it a 4 out of 5, so there you go. I rewatched They Came Together with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. Paul, have you seen that?
No, I remember it coming out, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's this romantic comedy spoof, and it's one of those movies that you're either going to find completely hilarious or not at all. And I really enjoy it. It's so stupid, but I really find it funny. I think Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler are awesome together in it, and really everybody in the cast is great. Then rewatched Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the director's cut, which I mean, I love Close Encounters. It's still awesome. I probably watch it about once a year or so, and yeah, it gets better every time. And then lastly, I rewatched The Conjuring, which I hadn't seen in ages, and I still think it's pretty solid. Paul, I know you aren't a big fan of it, but
no, I haven't rewatched the first one in a while. You know, maybe I'll warm up to it. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. I just didn't see the hype that everyone had for it either.
Yeah, but you do enjoy Insidious a fair bit, right?
Yeah, the first one at least.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was still pretty solid. James Wan's direction kind of at times gets on my nerves after, especially on repeat viewing, how he's always moving the camera constantly. But for the most part, it's effective. It's kind of toned down, and there's a lot of good moments in there, I think. And Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are awesome as always. So, yeah. And I believe that is it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Paula, anything else you want to mention about it? Anything?
No, honestly, it's just been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that is about it for the show, sadly, this week. Now, next week, I think Paul and I were talking about doing Loki, the whole show. I haven't watched any of it yet, so I got to get on that. Paul, have you finished it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also reviewing, per my request, doing what's it called? Chaos Walking?
Yeah, there we go.
Chaos
I
Walking.
forgot about that one.
Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland.
Directed by Doug Liman, right?
It is, yeah. One of his 1,000 movies that he's done over the last couple of years. And that one's on VOD right now. So yeah, I think we'll do another doubleheader for next week. So, keep an eye out for that. And on social media at FilmBuds and at thefilmbuds.com is where you can find out more stuff about it. Rate the show and, review, tell your friends if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, well, I mean, Paul, as always, thanks a lot, man. Always nice talking.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for bearing with me through Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, yeah, no problem. All right, well, yeah, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we'll see you next time.